Welcome to this Angular Pivot Table tutorial. In this video, I will show you how to display a pivot chart in the Syncfusion Angular Pivot Table component. Additionally, you will see how to customize the axes, data labels, and legends. Lastly, you will see how to display and customize accumulation charts. First, I open an existing Angular application where I have placed an Angular Pivot Table bound to a JSON data source. If you want to know how to get started with the Angular Pivot Table component, refer to the video linked in the card above. I run this application using the command ng-serve. Look here, the pivot table is rendered with the defined data source. Now I will show you how to display a pivot chart for this pivot table. To do that, I define a public property display option with a type display option, which is automatically imported from the Angular Pivot View package. Inside the ng-on-init method, I initialize this display option property and set the view property to chart. Then I assign this property to the display option property of the pivot view tag. See now, the pivot chart is rendered for the given data. By default, a line type chart is rendered. In addition to this, the pivot table supports column, area, bar, and many other chart types. Now, I will show you how to set the bar type chart. I define an object named chart settings with the chart settings type. To use this chart settings type, I need to import it from the Pivot View package. Inside the ng-on-init method, I initialize this chart settings property and set the chart series property. Within this property, I set the type to bar. Then I assign this object to the chart settings property of the pivot view tag. You can see now the bar type chart is rendered. Like the pivot table, you can also enable grouping bar and field list options in the pivot chart. To demonstrate, I import the grouping bar service and field list service modules from the pivot view package and inject them inside the providers section. I enable the show grouping bar and show field list properties in the pivot view tag. See, the grouping bars and field list icon appear, which you can use to sort, filter, and remove fields from the report. By default, the chart will be drawn with the first value field in the report. Here, units sold is the first value field on the value axis. Suppose I want to render the chart with some other value field like sold amount. I set the value property to amount inside the chart settings. Look now, the chart is rendered with the sold amount field. If I want to display both the unit sold and sold amount fields in the chart, I can use the enable multiple axis property. To demonstrate, I remove the value property and set the enable multiple axis to true. Now the chart is rendered with multiple axes, units sold and sold amount. Next, let's see how to display data labels on the chart. Since I want to render the chart with a single axis, I remove the enable multiple axis property. To display the data label, I add the marker property. And inside this, I set the data label property and enable the visible property of the data label. See, the data labels are rendered here. You can also set and customize the background color, border, font size, and position of the data labels. For more details, refer to the documentation link provided in the description for this video. Now I will show you how to customize the axes in the pivot chart. There are many customization options available for the axes. Here, I'm going to customize the label position of the x-axis and display the y-axis labels in reverse order. To customize the x-axis, define the primary x-axis property, and inside it, set the label position to inside. Then I define the primary y-axis property, and inside it, I set the is-inverse property to true to display it in reverse order. Look here, the axis labels are rendered inside the axis and the values are rendered in reverse. Next, I will show you how to customize legends. By default, legends render in auto position. They can also be rendered at the top, left, right, bottom, and custom positions. Let me customize one by positioning it on the right side. I define the legend settings property and set the position to right. You can also customize the background color, shape, and alignment of the legend. To do that, I set the background to an appropriate value. Then I set the alignment to far. To customize the shape of the legend, I set the legend shape property to pentagon. The legend icons are rendered as pentagons with the specified background color and alignment. So far, you have seen how to display and customize Cartesian type charts in the pivot table component. Now I will show you how to display an accumulation chart. 4 types of accumulation charts are supported in the pivot table component: pie, donut, pyramid, and funnel. In this example, I will show you how to display the pivot table as a pie chart. To do that, I set the chart type to pie. See now, the pivot table is rendered as a pie chart. In this chart, I can drill down and drill up by clicking the chart series. When I click the FY 2016 series, the drill option opens in a context menu. I click the expand option to view the corresponding series all the way to the last level. To drill up, I click the collapse option. To explode a series, I enable the explode property in the chart series property. See, the specified series is exploded in the chart. In this video, you saw how to display a pivot chart, how to customize the axes, data labels, and legends, and how to display and customize accumulation charts. If you want to try out the example used in this video, you can download it from the GitHub link in this video's description. I have also shared a link where you can learn about obtaining a free license key to use our Angular suite through our community license if you are eligible. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please like it and subscribe to our channel.